Hello. Welcome to 1000 Lies Part 16. We were in a club last time discussing things. That's a good enough explanation. Oz, Bud, I was signaling to you for the entire class. Why didn't you help me? Signaling? What do you mean? I didn't see anything. I nearly kicked your chair so that you'd notice. I forgot my glasses today and the teacher asked me to solve a problem on the chalkboard I couldn't even see. Was it that difficult to help me? Hey, I didn't notice anything. It couldn't have been that bad, Campanero. Stop complaining. He's punishing me with over 100 morphosyntax analysis for homework. Once you start on it, it's not so bad. In 3 different languages. All you need to do is copy and paste them, but change some words. One of them is intrusion. The hell is that? My idea exactly. I don't know. That's why I'm complaining. In any case, it's your own fault, Campanero. You shouldn't have told him that you can't see without your glasses. You think they'd notice that I don't have my glasses if I'm wearing them every day? Well, I was also asleep for the first 40 minutes of the class, and that might have influenced it a little bit. But that's not the issue right now. I wanted you to at least give me a hand. Did you really not notice that I was trying to get your attention? If you're sitting next to me, then it's for a reason. Seriously, I repeat, I didn't notice anything. Not even that you weren't wearing your glasses. This is just a hunch that I've had for a while now, but Oz, can you read what's on the chalkboard from here? My classmate fixes his eyes on the letters that sit unerased upon the green backboard. And after a few seconds, he squints his eyes and he tries to decipher the content. Oz, don't tell me that you're nearsighted and didn't know it. Oz needs glasses. Put a pair of sunglasses on that. I don't know how that looks. What are you talking about? My eyesight is perfect, just like everything else for me. The board has maths equations on it. You know, the usual. Our last class was Spanish. That explains how I got a direct object when solving for X. How the hell have you managed to pass until now? How has he managed to pass until now? It's very interesting. Very interesting. Hey, out of my eye? Yes, cool. No, it's still there. We haven't visited this park in a while. And that's why I used my break to go home and pick up my glasses. It took longer than I had expected, and now I can't go back to school since the next class has already started. So now I'm wasting time. You're such a delinquent, Xiao. This is the second time I've caught you playing hooky. Claire nods, convinced after having listened to my recollection. This morning I ended up missing some class because I decided to skip school to get my glasses. And to my surprise, well, I'm not really surprised anymore, Claire had the same idea. She had glasses too. You could say that we're both delinquents. I've already explained the reason that I'm here. Now it's your turn to tell me why you're here. I walk. I can already see that. I meant to ask why you aren't at school like all the other students. Not going to school makes you weird, including you. That explains a lot of things. What? Your answers are always so weird, Claire. That's because I answer your questions, Xiao. A few weeks ago, this would have driven me crazy, but now I accept it as if an entire expected part of everyday life. Yet, another coincidental encounter with Claire that I still refer to as such despite that fact that I'm sure it had nothing to do with luck. I must admit that I didn't expect to meet her here today, though I usually find her in the afternoon somewhere, so meeting her in the morning during the school day It's just weird. It happened once before, but I really believed that was a coincidence. Today isn't going to be a normal day, not even by the standards that I've gotten used to since the day I received the first email. And that's something I can confirm from the moment she makes the following proposal. Hey, Xiao, wanna go to the library? Which one? It's hard for me to digest her words at first. I'm not sure which library she means, and if it's the one I'm thinking about. The abandoned? But then I don't know how she knows about it. But I immediately recall that she was with me at the mall when Lucian had been talking about my leg and the accident. And then there's also the chance that she'd been following me around like she usually does. There's nothing to see, and I'm pretty sure you already know the place. True. True. But it's different if we get together. I suppose. She's concise with a tender, calm attitude. It makes me want to accept her request without thinking it over. But I hold my tongue just a bit longer. I know you well enough to know that you're going to do whatever you want despite whatever I say, so I don't mind leading you there, but... Blah, blah, blah. You're always moaning, Sia. Is that place so important that you won't show it to me? Didn't you have an accident there anyways? I can't believe you go to the place with bad memories attached to it so often. That's why I'm interested in going with you, personally. That's exactly why You can't leave the past behind, so you always end up returning to that place, am I right? I glance away from Claire. But that has to change. That has changed. What up until now was an empty, gloomy place is no longer that way, correct? I think I'm loose. Since we made that deal, we've been meeting in the library almost every day to the point it's become a habit. But I try not to think about her any longer, since Claire is standing in front of me, and I don't think it's appropriate since she could get the wrong idea. She can read me like an open book. That's not the point. There were certain circumstances. There's no going back. What was once yours isn't any longer. Losing it or sharing it, your choices are decreasing, but paradoxically, it has opened a new world up to you. It allowed you to meet someone. Even the smallest of actions can open an unexpected door, and that's exactly what I want to do. I want to know who you truly are, Sia. More so than the concepts in my mind, and in exchange I'll tell you everything that you want to know. I'll answer each and every question. Each and every one of the questions you're always asking. Really? I scratch my forehead, unsure whether or not I understand Claire's intentions. Hell, I'm not even sure I understand a single word of anything she says when she gets this way. I feel a certain mysticism emanating from her every time our conversation drifts into this incomprehensible chatter, as if I are covered by a thick fog that somehow draws me deeper within it. It's close, like having the answer on the tip of my tongue. It only needs to take form. It's as if all of my secrets of this world are slipping right through the space between my fingers. You in? Let's go. Now. Great. It's so easy to manipulate you, Sia. Great. Don't make me regret it already. I'm kidding, dummy. A library. Cheerful and ruddy, Claire spins around as she tries to view the totality of the room all at once with her retinas, a bright expression placed across her face as if she's remembering the best moment in her entire life. The last part is a hunch that only grows more and more likely the longer I watch her. She walks around the tables and explores all the shelves with the passion of a treasure seeker that already knows exactly where to find their loot. She opens all the doors she finds, only to close them again after taking a peek into what's baked to see what's inside and nodding agreeably. Yes. This is fantastic, Sia. I love it. But I'm beginning to understand why you're so obsessed with this place. You are? Don't think that everything here is awesome. I have to clean this place from time to time, and it doesn't have water or electricity or anything really. But it's at least quiet. There are vacuums. Don't have to plug it, whatever. I suppose it would be hard. It's very quiet. It's so far away from the rest of the world that it gives you a lot of privacy, especially for doing it. It? Doing what? For the love of God, sir. You weren't born yesterday. You know perfectly well what I meant. No. Or would you like me to give you a demonstration of it right now? I choke on my own saliva, and in response, Claire loudly begins to laugh at me. What a coward you are, sir. I'll give you time. We've already agreed to a certain date, and I'll honour that. I'm not a coward, but you can't say things like that. Are you sure? No. I'm never sure with you, Claire. Claire grabs my neck and pulls me closer to her. Then stands on the tip of her toes until we're face to face. Our faces are so close that we're practically kissing. Sparks fly out such that even a slight breeze could set the room ablaze. But in the end, the kiss never happens. No destiny wanted to give me that push. No. It's her. It's her that, after a few seconds, embraces me, wrapping her arms around my neck and pressing her lips against my right ear. Hey. She lets go, releasing me and taking a couple of steps backwards while playing with the ends of her skirt between her fingers. Different clothes? No, what are you talking about? This is the exact same time. I never left. She looks at me and smiles, waiting for as long as she needs to. I don't need to hear her verbalize it to know exactly what she's thinking. The most important thing is for me to be truthful. I get distracted and sigh, looking away, and when I look back, she's gone. One of the doors is open, indicating that she went farther into the depths of the complex, getting lost in the labyrinth of grey hallways and forcing me to call out her name. She answers me. I hear her voice resounding from every direction, but I can't find her behind any of the doors or corners. It's like a game, a round of hide-and-seek that plays out indefinitely. Our voices echo within the narrow spaces between the walls that extend out towards every direction. I'll never be able to find her unless I decide which path I must take. I won't reach anywhere if I don't stop and listen beyond the words, understanding the melodic whispers that could only originate from one place. The music room. Oh. How lovely. That took a while, Sia. Was it hard for you to find me? The melody is deafening. My mind becomes a blur as I recognize the well-known tune that Claire is playing on the piano. She lovingly caresses the keys with her long, slender fingers. With a satisfying motion, she releases the rest of the melody, sentiments from deep in her heart fluttering about. We can talk while I play, don't worry. I know this song so very well. My heart, it's not a problem. Despite her invitation, I remain silent. I'm enthralled in memories, surprised, and the beauty of the morning sun reflecting on the gentle waves of her hair, surrounding her face and emphasizing her charming smile. Every time I play this song, I always ask myself the same question. Is this a sad or a happy song? Yes, it does appear to be melancholic in the beginning, but as the song goes on, it gets more difficult to discern if it's actually a mourning of the past or a ballad of the hopes of the future. Some say that, depending on your mood, or who you're with, your impressions of things may change. Things feel like one of those cases where the song doesn't define the emotion, but the emotion is what defines the song. I don't reply, unable to find any answer in the way the notes are playing. I hear them clearly, but it's impossible for me to put them in any satisfactory pattern. Do you know the history behind this song? I shake my head. Of course not. There is none. People are always trying to find a deeper meaning behind everything around them, a story that transcends beyond ourselves and gives us meaning. It turns out that the composer made this piece when he was younger. He was ashamed of it for not being as good as his other works. He didn't publish it until many years after his conception, when he was famous virtuoso, and a client wanted to take advantage of his fame. And now, oddly enough, it's his most famous composition, the one he'll always be remembered by. Claire's playing roughens up, increasing the pressure against the keys, without losing her place and speeding up her words as she speaks. I was named after this song, for the peacefulness and the shining, bright moonlight. The power we have to influence other people's lives is nearly inconceivable, to the point that for everything we're ashamed about, we can simply add expectations for the next generation long before they're ever born. That's why I so often wonder what this song is supposed to be asking of me, who I should be meet to meet its expectations. Her knees being to shake nervously and intensely, rubbing against each other restlessly, while her hands continue playing without losing the tempo. Quite skill. It scares me. I'm afraid of not knowing what I feel, afraid of not having control, afraid of the lies behind every decision I make. And while I observed everyone else being worried about what will happen after they die, I'm scared of something even worse than death. I'm scared of life. The melody softens, poisoned with the unease that comes with a storm, followed by a great effort made by each and every cell in her body not to stop playing. It's not of embarrassment. I simply don't want to shine. I want to be the background character that nobody cares about, talking and standing out just enough so that nobody knows me. That's why I hide, or at least, that's how it was until something changed. Someone appeared and destroyed the foundations that I'd built with so much effort. I lived in a boring, peaceful grey world that was closer to death than life. But those feelings that I'd long ago forgotten about returned to me and once again began blooming inside me. Stupid, isn't it? The complaints of a teenager. After that, those ideas spread like a virus, taking hold of a weak existence that can only express indifference for the world around it, immersing it in darkness and waiting, because it knows that this may be its last chance to find happiness. Anxiety, envy, jealous, anger, rage, violence, disaster. Being close to you have only awakened parts of me that are shameful, and I can't do anything about it because it's your fault. It's your responsibility. This is me, Sia, the mediocre melody that fears to become a classic, that doesn't know which side of the spectrum it belongs to, and that only needs 3 words from you to be unafraid. You can make all that I represent disappear, or at least all that I've already accepted, if you allow me to. Her fingers slow down as they reach the end of the song. The air is thick and heavy. There's something in it that burns, irritating my throat to the point that I'm not totally speechless. When I look at her, she smiles like she always used to, like she always does, and I can't accept that. Not with those sad eyes. And the song ends. We can't say anything. I've always been like this, right? Doesn't matter what I think, she already knows it. The worst part is that no answer will suffice unless it's truthful. I'm sure about one thing, though. I'm sure about the tenderness she used to play that Debussy song, and all the lies I wanted to forget. Always been a serious story, but it's getting a bit more serious now, ain't it? Getting a bit more final is what it is. Interesting. So that's Claire. What happened? We leave? I watch the other side's entrance and sigh, still searching for the best words that are naivety of someone who thinks there's a correct answer. Oh, no, Claire's still here. Standing next to me is Claire. After what happened in the music room, she left without a sound, forgetting what had transpired in only a second, without even allowing me to give my opinion on it. Huh, would I have given it anyway? It was too late. She told me. No fussing. Straight to the answer she wants. Like when we first met. A certain answer she wants. A certain truthful answer. Then talked about going back to school and some other stuff. She invited me to go back with her, and although it took me a second, I said yes. Hesitating. However, despite her laughing innocently about it, it's obvious that she's unhappy with my answer. I have to say something before we part ways. It feels necessary. But she interrupts me as soon as I try to open my mouth and speak. Thank you for accompanying me, Sia. I inhale deeply, through my nose, to give up. Don't say goodbye so soon. I'll go inside too. What? Why? What are you going to do? It's a school. What in the world can I do? Homework. No. I just want to use the washroom. I'm already late for my next class anyway, so I'm gonna take it easy in the meantime. You know the way, right? Good luck then. I gotta go since I'm in a hurry. See you, Sia. I'm using the washroom. No luck needed. I can't finish my sentence before she's gone. She didn't even let me say goodbye to her. She is unhappy. We are hesitant. As I finish my duties, I hear the bell start to ring, so I decide to wait here for a little while until the students are done rushing around. It'd be a little weird if someone caught me and asked which classroom I'm from. Most people don't play hooky to go to another school on the other side of the street. I've already skipped 2 classes in a row, and by the time I get back, it'll be recess, considering that I'd prefer to skip the rest of the day and go home. When everyone's settled into their classrooms, I try to slip away, wondering what the stealthiest exit out of this building would be. You'd think I'd know by now. But who catches me? Who? Come on, who? At my school, I would usually use the nurse's office windows. But I'm not so sure that would work here, since there's nowhere to go from the backyard. Still without a plan, I see one of the teachers heading in my direction, forcing me to turn back and look for another way out of the school. When I think I'm safe, I see another teacher going up the stairs, not too far away from me. Is it that hard for these teachers to be on time for the classes or what? This would be totally normal if it wasn't for the fact that I immediately find myself surrounded by yet another patrolling teacher approaching me. This feels less like school and more like Area 51. Without anywhere to hide, I stick close to the wall behind me, until I suddenly feel a doorknob hitting against my kidney from behind me. Ugh. I see this as an opportunity, and I peek inside the small window attached to the door, praying that it'll be empty. But that's not the case. Inside I find a normal classroom filled with students taking notes. But there is an empty desk in the last row. Ha ha! Mine perhaps. They're listening to the lesson of a teacher so old that I can't believe he's not retired. He seems to have rheumatism, and he keeps coughing while he writes on his chalkboard. Oh, old school. There's no escaping now, but... Why did I say but? I can't even think of a good excuse in case I'm found by the patrol. Especially because of the incessant coughing of the teacher inside the classroom. And that's precisely what inspires me with the idea. It's so absurd that it might work. And the huge pressure that's on me right now, I decided to put it into practice. I gently turn the doorknob, slowly opening the door, as not to make any noise, opening up a small gap just big enough for me to get through. Do I plan to sit at the empty desk? Everything happened in a second. I get inside at the same time that the teacher coughs, and with one finger, I manage to close the door, leaving it behind as I roll on the floor towards the last row of the I roll on the floor. Very inconspicuous. I part the chair from the desk in a single agile motion. Then I hoist myself atop the chair like a snake slithering up a tree. I take my seat, hanging my head low in an attempt to hide from the teacher and the student in front of me. And I ensure in a quick glance that the door is closed, just as I expect to not raise any suspicion. Oh, interesting. My mouse is running out of battery. I need to plug it in. Give me a second, it won't take long. I just need to grab the cord, plug it in. Plug it in. And there we go. Off and hot. Plan successful. My hands shake with excitement. Unable to believe that I've successfully plowed off such a foot. I'm better than, damn, Lupin, or Batman, or Waldo, combined together. I'm really glad right now. My plan was perfect, no mistakes in it, anything. In its plan, actually execution, or even the consequent. Oh. I'm sitting on my high horse when I look to the left and realize the one single mistake that I've made. The girl sitting next to me. So, how the chalkboards this time of year? Surprise! I'm amazed, incredibly amazed by how expressive some people can be without even speaking verbally. Hey, why are you shy? Why are you here? She doesn't even open her mouth. No sound is heard, but I can tell what she's. Oh, okay. As if she's shouting it directly out of her mouth. Explain yourself or die. Seriously, I'm freaking out. This must be the closest thing to telepathy in the whole world. I don't even mind the purple hue in my arm is taking from the strong grip. I raise my index finger, asking her loose for a second. I lower my head down to my pants and take out a notebook, opening it to a blank page, and I begin writing. I thought I was boring and predictable. I can't believe it came up here to do this just because of that comment I made at the mall. Luce uses her own pen and writes on the page, although I do notice that at the end of the sentence she adds a small smiley face, except it's frowning instead of smiling. What a conundrum. Not really, but since I'm here, I can take this opportunity to tell you something. Tell me something what? Can't you wait a bit for that, though? Once again, she adds a smile to the end of her sentence, this time a face with a question mark over its head. More detailed than your average emoticon, really. I know everyone writes like this on their cell phones, but it's the first time I've seen someone do it on paper. Do you always add smileys to everything? What do you have against smileys, huh? I can't help but giggle when I see her start to draw something after her last sentence, but she crosses it out before giving me the notebook back and sighs with regret and shame. Nothing. Thank you. Don't be shy. I accepted that you're insane a long time ago. At the end of my sentence, I try to add my own smiley, a face covering its mouth, as if it's laughing or something. It's a pity that my artistic abilities haven't improved since kindergarten. It's hard to believe that my smiley has a shape in the first place. This ends up covering her mouth with one hand and holding her stomach, with the other trying to hide her unusual cackle so that nobody will catch us. What is this disaster? Now I understand why you chose to write instead of drawing. As always, she accompanies her sentence with a drawing, this time with the silhouette of someone laughing on the floor. That's not true. I can do better than that. I was just in a hurry, OTL. OTL? What is OTL? OTL, you know. An emote of a depressed guy sitting on all fours. The O is his head. It's his head. The T is his arms. And the L is his legs. Alright, I kinda see it. You're supposed to be the smiley expert. Well, excuse me. I don't know why, but I figured it was the acronym for something important. Something that defines us. Forget it. What other meaning does it have? In any case, let's get something straight. Drawing is too much for you. You know that drawing is better than writing. Same. I raise my chin as if to ask what's wrong with you. Luce then amends her previous sentence, albeit in her own special way. Drawing is way better than writing. I'm finished. I think as we start fighting over the notebook's monopoly. From then on, we start a mute war between us where we fill several pages with drawings, circumlocutions, of insults and critiques of all different kinds. The acidic content of the spilled ink doesn't rust our enthusiasm, and our familiarity breeds our contempt to the point that we enjoy our competition to see who has more imagination and talking shit about the other. I'm barely coming out of an exchange unscathed since the quality of my drawings is just laughable or awful. I didn't read the rest of that. Oops, my bad. Oh well. During one of these fits, the teacher suddenly goes silent and immediately gazes in our direction. Oh, we hold our breath with faces that anyone would declare guilty from seeing them, and then the teacher clears his throat and continues from where he left off, letting us breathe in peace once again. Look at what you almost did. I'm sure the entire classroom has already realized that you're here. What are they going to think? Tell them that I'm the ghost of Christmas past, but I'm running a bit late. Why do you even care what they think? Classmates. You gotta spend quite a few years with them. No, the only thing late here is your brain. To everything. I'd like to see how you'd react to a reverse situation. You coming into my club, that would be an interesting thing. We're going to graduate soon anyways. Well, okay. Why do you seriously care at this point, lady? Luce takes some time to think after reading my last sentence, this time replying without any smiley at the end. Oh. I'm always pretty worried about what others think about me, right? You must think I'm obsessed. Luce's face seems to relax, but her lips tense, cloaking a mood one could only describe as downcast. It makes me stop and question my reply, since it seems inappropriate to continue joking and playing games. I decide to give her a clear and elaborate response. Who doesn't? It doesn't. It's someone denies it. They're lying. You once told me that what others think is important because society is a reflection that lets us see our true selves. I agree with that, but it doesn't change the fact that sometimes we can be more careless than when we know that we can't hurt anyone else, do we? Don't you think? Brief smile crosses her face while she's reading. She takes her time writing an answer, probably pretending not to leave out any important details. It's just that I've always clung to the excuse of having to fulfill everyone else's expectations because that way I can forget about what I actually want. My fondness for drawing isn't so much love for art, but a way to make my dreams take shape. It's for the millions of ideas and dreams that cross my mind, believing that somehow, I can eventually live out all of them. Or not if you're always trying to live up to others' expectations. Now, while everyone else is deciding on the former their personas, I'm afraid of embarking on that journey. I'm scared of discovering that I can never become the person I dream of being. I dream of being a big YouTube star. Look at me, I'm making videos. I am trying. What can you say, Luce? Are you trying? Especially because who I've dreamt of becoming is an incomplete idea. An assignment that has yet to be fulfilled. And ideas like drawings are always perfect in our minds, but they turn out differently on paper. But sometimes, they can turn out better. Luce looks away while I read her note. I have to tap her on the shoulder to give her back the notebook, with my reply, which is, I think you should keep doing what you believe in without questioning your future use. because I doubt you can smile in your dreams as happily as you have while you were drawing. She blushes. She tries to write down her reply as quickly as possible. I can see the words "it wasn't because" on the paper, but she regrets it and crosses it out. Ring-a-ding-ding. The bell rings, if you couldn't tell. And the students around us start up organizing their books while the teacher raises his voice to give us his final instructions before leaving. In the time it takes me to return around to look at the bell's direction and then return to my original position, Luce stands up and pulls on my shirt, dragging me out of the classroom and into the hallway. Interesting. Luce then drags me to an even farther hallway, and once there, she puts her hands on her waist and looks at me. Well, what? Haha, you almost suffocated me. We're having a jolly old good conversation. What do you mean suffocated? Why did you come here? You told me that you have something to tell me. Well. I did? I scratched my cheek, trying to look surprised and also trying to buy some time. Nothing. It's just that I finished another chapter of my story, but I left it in my bag, so I'll have to give it to you at the library. Did we really come here for that? No, but since I was close by, well, sneaking into your classroom was just something that happened. Didn't mean to. Luce shakes her head, resigning herself to my explanation despite being quite unconvinced by it. It's not the first time you've decided you've done something like this anyways. I expect anything and everything now. That's not what your expression said when I sat next to you in that class. Well, with that being said, it's best if I leave before the bell rings again. I have to take this opportunity and hope that I can stick out this time. Wait a sec. No. I've always turned around when Luce stops me. She looks nervous and speaks like she's embarrassed or something. I'm not going to the library this afternoon. What do you say we meet after school and you give it to me then? As you wish. I have it in my bag, so I can do it then, but it's better this way. We'll meet up later, okay? Luce sees me off in a hurry, leaving me disconcerted. But still, I choose not to give it too much thought and leave without asking any questions. And that's where I'll leave it. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. This video definitely didn't happen over the course of a few days. This was all in one recording. You can't prove anything. Maybe I just got changed in one of those skips. Who knows? I got busy. Okay. I had to leave it. But anyway. Next time.